few weeks ago, our friends at Track Day Tire received a new offering from Hoosier. This is the Track Attack Pro. Let's chat about it. This is a 200 treadwear tire that is meant to be straightable but provide motorsports level of traction at track days and competitive events. Unlike its big brothers, the Hoosier R7 and the A7, this tire is grooved for the sole purpose of it being able to be driven to and from the track regardless of wet or dry. In our eyes, the Track Attack Pro is meant to be more of a time attack tire than the Continental Extreme Contact Force. That tire is more of an endurance 200 treadwear tire in our eyes. This tire we know all too well as we have been driving on it for the past year and a half in our full-size Porsche track cars. This is a tire that has given us upwards of 50 heat cycles and still switched on for a lap or two before falling off drastically. So once we mounted these on the exact same wheels, the Track Attack Pro did seem to fill the rim better as the sidewalls seem more square to the edges than the Conti. If I put this sideways for you guys, you can see that this has a better shape, or a more motorsport shape is what I'm gonna call it. And if you look at the Conti here, the Conti has a more rounded shape here. So stiffer, more square, and at the end of the day, if it's more square to the edge of the wheel, that means we do have slight bigger contact patch. For this comparison, of course, we're using the same tire sizes, which in our case for the Porsches is a 265/35/19 front and a 325/30/19 rear. For this tire test, our car of choice was our 991.2 GT3 RS in Miami blue flavor. A chassis we know all too well and a car we feel is very balanced. This car has all of our basic mods plus a little bit of an aero, catback, and is still on stock suspension. It's a dream little machine to drive. Let's head to Coda with Chin Track Days and do some laps on each of these two tires.
Okay, baby, let's go. Let this McLaren by. Totally blows the apex, but that's okay. Okay, guys, so let's put some gradual heat into these Hoosier Track Attack Pro tires. As of now, they feel really good off the rip. Unlike a slick, right, where you go out and of course kind of slipping and sliding around. This has very good initial grip. Wow. So a previous driver of the car told me that the car feels really, the person dancing up there. Car feels really balanced. So we will see. Let's start pushing. Oh wow. They have plenty of grip on the brakes. Let's go, baby. Let's see how it feels into the braking zone. Solid pedal, big bite, very good turn in. Wow, they have R7 mannerism. First just keeps turning. Wow. This actually feels awesome, guys. Turns in. That guy gonna pit? Yep, that guy's gonna pit. I'm gonna make a little bit of space, see if we could do a flyer on this next one. But the tire seems basically to be an R7. Curious to see how the decline is after some hot laps. So we'll see. There's a lot of traffic up ahead, but still, let's see what we can do. Turn in, track out, rear axle, a little bit unhappy, that's okay, that's common. Car turns really well. Turn, baby, yep. Wow. turn. Another thing I like about this tire a lot is that it has a stiff sidewall. So to me that gives me more precise feedback than a squishier sidewall. I definitely know that compared to the Conti, I could give this tire way more brake pedal pressure and it takes it. Now on track out, you're seeing that the car is kind of getting a little bit upset. And for me, that's just okay. These cars, they have 500-ish horse, and they have a decent amount of torque. I don't know if it's in the 400s, but the torque is up in the 300s. We are driving this car with everything off, just because I want to get the whole sensation of what this tire can provide. Ah, the turn in, man, wow. A little bit of grass there, but that's okay. Look at that. Still the car turns, this thing turns. And as you can see, I'm not giving it a slow wheel movement. I'm giving it a quick movement and it's taking it. Okay guys, so we are in the same car, same weather. The air is very similar. All we have done is we have put the Continental 200 treadwear tire. I don't remember the exact name of it, but Continental. Yeah, I am drawing a blank, but it's the Conti 200s, a tire that's been out in the market for about a year and a half. A tire I love, and let's go, baby. So this tire off the rip is one thing that I absolutely love about it, and the Hoosier felt pretty similar. How it's very good just off the rip. Out of the pits, it's really good. Yeah, even though you are on low tire pressures, but the tire has very good grip. I feel like the grip curve of this tire is good. It gets a little bit better once you put a little bit of heat in it. So it kind of goes up, plateaus, performance for a lap and change, and then it just starts falling off a little bit more. So what you have to do is you have to start moving that brake zone a little bit earlier, start braking a little bit earlier, a little bit more ginger on turn-in. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so let's go. We'll use this first lap as a warm-up, and we'll do a couple flyers. I don't know if I told you guys, but on that Hoosier 200 treadwear tire, I was able to do a 20 through a decent amount of traffic. So let's see what we could piece together on this Conti. This Conti. I love how we just put these tires on this car and it just feels so balanced. This car turns in so well. And it's hard to talk about the tire just because this car is so damn good. He's on the release. Alrighty, baby. Let's go. Hard brake up to 20. And automatically I can feel that I can't give the car as much brake pedal pressure, because the car goes into past threshold, and the reason I can see that is the car starts kind of shimmying in the brakes. Yep, I went straight into ABS, had to dial the brake pressure out. I'd be interested to compare peak G's, peak vertical G's or braking G's. Keep the throttle here, turn the car in. Tire's talking to you, hear it. Just chirps a little bit, telling you, give me more speed. Speed all this. Eat all this. Brake as you're moving across. Turn the tire in. And the tire responds. It responds to the input. Yeah. I turn the car in. And the tire kind of goes into a little bit of a vague state where the car starts understeering. Obviously, you give it more wheel, it's gonna understeer more. You know what? Let's do this. Let's turn everything off. That way, we feel absolutely what the tire is doing. Sometimes leaving the TC on kind of doesn't allow for rotation. So let's try this. Takes a good amount of brake pedal pressure, and you can hear that tire screaming on the way. A little bit of oversteer there, but that's definitely because I grabbed too much throttle. Ginger on the throttle. But more than the Hoosier, I can tell the rear axle's giving up, and that's just more overall. Like that R7 just seems to have more overall grip. Let's see how this thing turns. High speed. See, I'm blowing that front end off. And I think on the Hoosier, that took me a few laps to do. Get to throttle, just blowing through that front. And to compare, well, the reason they're two great tires to compare is they are the exact same tire sizes. And the car end, yeah. I also feel like I'm having to have less brake pedal pressure in turning at the end, meaning I can't trail the car hard into the corner. I have to have less brake pedal pressure because then I'm asking too much of the tire.
So now that I have told you how they feel behind the wheel, let's see how they compare side by side. So we jump on to our V-Box, and both of the, it's the same car, so we definitely have the same system in the car. One thing I want you to look right off the bat is going to be this delta. So all I have right now is a mile per hour trace, and I have a delta trace. Now, if you guys want to be very specific and want to see a literal breakdown between these two laps, you guys are going to have to leave that in the comments below, because that will make for its own video. When I pull this up, the first thing that I want to look at, or when I pull up two comparison laps side by side, is I go straight to here, straight to the histograms of the mile an hour, and I see where are the biggest deltas. I also go to the delta, which we are using. Obviously, the fast lap is always a reference. If the line goes above it, that means it's slower. If the line goes below it, that means it's negative on the delta, which means it's faster. So this is what I expected to see out of this tire, which was simply a tire that is consistently slower throughout the entire lap. So let's go into turn one. And what I'm going to be focused on comparing here is going to be lateral loads, because that basically directly tells us what the tire is doing. We are here at turn one. Let's go to that apex, even though that apex has a big bump. Our fast lap here is the blue screen over here, and our slow lap is the red screen to the left. So let's go here to lateral acceleration, or lateral G's. So on the car, the blue car with the Hoosier Track Attack Pro, it's pulling about 1.48 G's, and the Continental is pulling about 1.306 G's. Now, again, this is same car, same weather, so the comparison doesn't get any better than this. Same driver, about the same lines. Obviously, the lines are going to be slightly different, but yeah, let's go on to the next corner, and I'm just gonna see if this translates to a high-speed corner, which it entirely should. So I will stop both of these cars in the very middle. And if we go to lateral loads again, the blue car seems to have a little bit more. I think we are already straightening up here, so let me just go a little bit earlier. So we are seeing 1.48 G's of lateral load in the car with the Track Attack Pro, and then the other car is at 1.39. So a tenth and a half split. Here again, it's a tenth and a half split as we are going through So it's it's literally as simple as this. So even if you see my throttle trace into 3, you could see where I am on throttle earlier through 3 or earlier to full throttle here. You can see this bar here. So this bar goes to 100% earlier. It's just me being more confident in the tire, or the fact that the car will whoa enough or slow down enough from 3 to 4. Using all the track there, using all the track here on the right side. As you see, I'm even using a little bit more track on the Continental, and that's simply due to the fact that I know the tire has less grip, so the straighter I can make these S's, the better. So get this car to transfer load. Let's look at the lateral loads again. Blue car 268, which is the Track Attack Pro, and then on the right here is 1.21, so just slightly more G's. Now we go to the brake pedal. Let's see how much more confident I am on the brake pedal. So you can see here on the right side, I am able to give the car a little bit more pedal into 5. This is kind of high speed, and it has to be for just the burst because you don't want a sudden release of the brake pedal. So you have to, whatever you're gonna give it, you gotta give it quick and then bleed off the pedal here at 6. If we look at our longitudinal acceleration, here you are, and it's the same case. I'm able to give it more pedal pressure just because the tire feels that much better. This car is the blue car. The blue histogram is at 0.68, and then the other one is at 0.517. So that's about a tenth and change again that we're seeing of more load that the car can take on the same wheels, just different tires. Again, I'm able to get onto sooner throttle and into 7. I just wait a teeny tiny bit later to brake, and that's just having the confidence that the car is under me. Again, we take it up 8, play with the throttle on both of them. And if you saw here on these bars, I always had just a slight bit more throttle in the car with the Track Attack Pro than I did in the car with the Contis, and that's just because, again, the car is giving me more confidence. It's allowing me to roll better speed. I'm only 1 mile an hour faster at the exit of 8, but 1 mile an hour counts all the way to 11 because 10 is a kink, but it's flat. So let's sweep through. Yep, let's sweep through 11, and what I'm excited to see here is I'm excited to see. Damn, I got spicy here. Yeah, so look at look at this lap on the left. Is as I am tracking out, I want to be 100% flat on these cars, and as you can see on the Conti, I'm using way more asphalt or way more tarmac, just because the car is not doing too well on throttle. And then as I get into that painted section, the car has a big snap. Another thing I did for this comparison, and also that I've been doing lately, is I turned off all aids from this car, and the reason I did that is I just didn't want any band-aiding from the car or the car pulling power on throttle. I basically wanted it to be all me feeling the tire on throttle. So huge snap on exit here, but the speed should still be similar going down the back straight because I did not retreat on throttle. I kind of just had the snap but kept the throttle in it. So let's go into 12. So I broke a little bit deeper in the car with a Track Attack Pro. You can see here that I broke way later. So initially there was more brake pedal input on the other car, but then I did feed the brakes more to the car with the Track Attack Pro, 1.4 Gs to 1.35. Let's keep on going past 11, and let's see how I do through 11. Let's just check out the speeds mid-corner. I haven't done this, but I'm just curious. So 43 to 45, carrying 2 miles an hour more with the Track Attack Pro on a slow speed corner, and that is obviously big. I rolled throttle just slightly earlier on the track out. Had a little snap, but that's definitely okay. Now the trickiest section here. There's not as much mechanical grip. The car's not in aero or anything, but this one, like in both cars, you just feel like you're hanging on for dear life. The blue car just has 0.01 more Gs, but hey, that counts through here. I'm running very similar lines, so that's good. The red car on entry to 15, I just carried a little bit too much brake. The car has a snap, so it's going to be hard to compare these two cars side by side through here. A lot more corrections with the Continental just because it has slightly less grip. Let's look at the high-speed stuff now. So here we are entering the carousel, 16B. This apex is crucial to get to, and I'm at 86 with the Track Attack Pro, and I am at 83 with a Conti. That's 3 miles an hour. That's absolutely big. At the end of this, let's just compare that again, 94 to 91, so it's still that 3 miles an hour, and I'm carrying about 1/10 of a G more lateral load. Carry the brake as you're moving right, move left. On that Hoosier, I was able to just roll throttle a little bit earlier. Let that car go wide. And let's remove these two and just compare data into 20. So yeah, this is incredible. So just out of 19, since I was able to roll a little bit more throttle on the way out, from 19 to 20 and to the start finish line, I found 0.6 of a second here, which is absolutely crazy. The laps look pretty similar side by side, but the fact that I was able to roll throttle earlier through 19, that kind of translates all the way, and then I'll have better traction out of 20. The 2 lap times on the Conti, it was a 2:23.66, and the Track Attack Pro is a 2:20.84, a delta or a split of 2.822 seconds. Before we wrap this up, I would like to invite you all to follow Saga Motorsports on all social media platforms, and I personally invite you to dig through the channel for similar content. If you find something you like, consider subscribing to the channel, as we are pressed in posting this long form content at least once a week moving forward. Continuing this tire comparison video, we got what we were hoping for, at least we think. The Track Attack Pro beat the Continental by 2.8 seconds a lap at COTA. To realize is that this tire wasn't just a 1-lap wonder either. It was able to keep pumping out fast laps one behind the other. So now that we know the tire is fast, all that is left is to keep running it and put heat cycles on it and see how the tire evolves and if it falls off a cliff throughout its lifetime on track. As my close friend JC said when these were announced, we are hoping these tires will be tread limited, not heat cycle limited. What good is it to have a tire that has plenty of rubber left on it, but has lost all of its performance on track? If this tire follows its brothers, it should do just that. This tire literally feels like a grooved R7 A7. You tell us, is the $300 per set difference worth it for 2 seconds faster lap time at about what I'm predicting to be half the life of the Conti? Let us know what you think of the Track Attack Pro, and for all of those of you who have already driven on it, leave your feedback in the comments, as I am curious if you experience the same. That's it from me today. I will catch you guys in the next one. Vámonos.